Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to discuss about SIEM architecture. What is SIEM architecture? When we are in cybersecurity world or SOC analyst environment, we are going to deal with different types of alerts. How the alerts are generating, from where the alerts were generating, from which types of logs the alerts are generating in our tools. We have to discuss very important thing in SIM architecture, which is nothing but security incident event management architecture. How the logs were generated from the customer assets to our SIM tool. So now I'm going to say what type of environment it would be in SIM architecture. It would be either on premises, it would be hybrid, it would be cloud. By mean, all the servers or databases in any data center or any cloud or combination of any industry. For example, this line is a part of client side. For example, this is an TCS or Infosys. Let us assume Infosys or TCS. So these clients having a deal with a company called IBM Security, where these IBM Security network people will install a log collector at the customer assets. What is customer assets? The question would be raised in your mind. The customer assets would be anything like Windows, Linux, or firewalls, or routers, IDS, or IPS, and it would be cloud environment also, AWS or Azure. These all logs will collect by a log collector and it will be pushed into a raw log database, where this raw log database store all the types of raw logs into the database. For example, I wanted to show you a raw log. If you can see here, in this notepad, I have mentioned a huge number of lines which is having a text. It would be unable to understand the whole format of this log. For example, we wanted to see a event. Let me navigate into the event. The raw log has converted this event very short. How does this converted? Let us move back to the SIM architecture. All these raw logs will push into data enrichment process. What is data enrichment process? At here, we are having three types of processes. One is aggregation. Second one is normalization. Third one is parsing. For aggregation, we can say from different types of log sources or different geolocations, the logs will be stored in a central server, which is called raw log database. From there, we will normalize all the logs into single format or single rescaling. For example, EDR logs has a file size of 1000 and AWS logs has a size of 750. The normalization will rescale all the logs into same format or rescale the size of the file to central size as a 500 MB. This is normalization. From normalization, it will pass through parsing, where the parsing will does a JSON format of all the logs. These JSON format will push into the events. So now we will move back to a event. What an event would be. So previously we have seen a raw log, which is of not understandable. Not understandable format. But here the event is understandable, which is it is having a date, it is having a time, it is having a log ID, and it is a traffic, and it is a forward traffic, by mean outbound traffic from inside the network to outside the network, and it is having at what time the event generated, source IP address, source port, and destination IP, destination port, and event action on which app, on which client, and etc on which OS it has been done, and how many bytes has been transferred, how many bytes has been received, at how much time it has occurred. These all the information we required from the original raw. So here the parsing will having a JSON file which contains key value pairs. What is key value pairs? For example, we will see few key value pairs. Event created. For example, 11th of December 24. Source IP 10.10.10.1. Source port, it would be 3389. Destination IP, it would be 192.168.1.1. Destination port, it would be 22. So these type of key value pairs will store in JSON format. After that, it will convert into an event. Let me move back to the SIEM architecture. From these events, it will pass through the server. In between the server, we are having a detection engine. What exactly detection engine is? This detection engine stating about rules. It would be either YAML or Sigma. and also correlation rules. And also it would be analytic rules. These rules we have kept at detection engine. From this detection engine, it will pull all the logs by the conditions of detection rules. These detection rules will pass the alerts to the production server. This is the production server. From this server, there will be a dedicated SOC team which is using UI like Splunk, IBM QRadar, or Microsoft Sentinel. Whatever the tool they are using, all the logs or all the alerts will be showing in the UI to analyze all the alerts. This is how SIEM architecture works.